Hi everyone, welcome to the Hollywood Makers. I am your host, Claudia Cano-Asbjornsen. On today's episode, I have the distinct pleasure of having a dear friend of mine join me to discuss this year's Golden Globe and Critics' Choice Award nominations. Her name is Jana Nascimento. She is a journalist and film critic who happens to vote for the Critics' Choice Awards and for the Spirit Awards. So she'll give us inside information on all of the voting that happened and who are the surprises and the ones that got left out for this year. Also, on the ones to watch, there are going to be 3 different movies that we are going to talk about where you'll get information that you probably won't get anywhere else. So like I said, I'm very happy and very honored because it's an honor to have her. We haven't seen each other in a little bit. We kind of follow each other on all social media platforms. But today she is my guest and I'm very happy to have Jana with me. She is a Brazilian producer, reporter, commentarist, a critic, all those labels that you want to put. She'll tell us a little bit more about herself. I'm very excited because not only is she going to give us inside information on what it is like to vote for the Critics' Choice, but also for the Spirit Awards, which I just found out that she's also a voting member. So, Jana, thank you so much for accepting the invite. Welcome.
Claudia, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and very happy that you invited me so we can talk a little bit about the good part of being a critic and the bad parts of being a critic and the struggles that we have along the way.
Of course. And so that you know, I used to do a little bit of the critic part back in my previous roles a few years ago when I used to work in TV. So Jana and I got to meet each other through that, and we created this beautiful friendship that has extended all these years. She continued on that route, and now she's a famous critic. Yes, she is. And now I get to see parts of the stuff that we didn't get to do before, which is like the voting mechanisms and all that stuff. So first of all, give us a little bit of information about you. Who are you? Where did you come from? Your experience, so that people who don't know you yet, they can know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, I'm a journalist. I'm originally from Brazil. I've been living here in the U.S. for the last 23 years. So I was on the East Coast where we met, and then I moved to the West Coast where everything started coming more, more quickly. Everything happened so quickly, and I became a film critic. I'm part of a voting member of Critics' Choice Association, Hollywood Creative Alliance, and the Spirit Awards. I have my own YouTube channel called Jana on Camera, and I also write for a Brazilian publication here in the U.S.
Right. And that's just part of some of the things that you do. You're always super busy writing and, publishing stuff and interviewing top talent behind and in front of the camera and all that stuff. So
yeah.
Today I wanted to talk to you about the Critics' Choice Awards the Critics' Choice nominations, because they just came out not long ago. And we don't have inside information on how that works unless you're a critic, right? So tell me a little bit about how that voting mechanism happened. Because, for example, we're going to dive into the Golden Globes, which is also a very interesting topic because it changed so much in the past couple of years from what it used to be the Hollywood Foreign Press and other voting members across supposedly the world. And now it has become a 300 voting people process. Now the Hollywood Foreign Press doesn't exist anymore. It got resolved because there's a lot of issues there that we'll discuss later. So tell me a little bit about the Critics' Choice. How does that happen? How do you get to vote, and how is that mechanism?
Yeah, we have like some deadlines to follow, and then the studios start like pitching us for the movies, for the things that they wanna award. They call us our attention to it. So the first batch of voting, we need to send, for example, for the Critics' Choice, we have 5 choices for Best Picture and 3 choices for all the other categories. So it's very, very tricky because sometimes you don't have just 3 choices of supporting actor or supporting actresses, or even Best Picture. Sometimes it's very difficult to narrow down. From that, they combine everything, and the most voted ones is the one that make to the cuts to the final list that we voted in the end. So what you see the nominations is like they make the numbers and then get the ones that most receive voters from the members.
Oh, I see. So the members vote from everything you see.
Yeah.
And then they narrow down to make the list where then the members again vote one more time to pick the winner from that category.
Yeah. So we're going to vote for in a couple of weeks for the final one that is then they're going to be revealed on January 14th.
Awesome. So from the ones that you guys nominated because you guys do more than the Golden Globes do, and some are very similar to the Oscars too, which just nominations have yet to come. But what are the nominations that you think are the most contended for this year?
Oh, actress, actor, for sure. Supporting actress as well. Some of them, like in Best Picture, I think those ones going to be the most, for me, the most difficult ones. Because there's some other ones that I already have my opinions on it. But for example, for the director, like I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. We have like just one female director there. So that's gonna be easier for me. But I don't know, for the other ones, sometimes we have the tendency like, let's put a female, but doesn't work like that, so it'd be very difficult.
Yeah. So, for example, for the Critics' Choice, the contenders for Best Director is Greta, just for Barbie, which, by the way, received the most nominations in the almost 30 years of the association. Is the first time that a movie has received that many noms. I think it was 18, right?
18. For the Critics' Choice was 18.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the Golden Globes, Barbie also received some of the most nominations as well. I think it was like the second top nominated film after Cabaret. I think something along the lines of that. So it's amazing to have Barbie create this phenomenon, right? This year with female actors, female director, and driven by females. So we're very happy about that. So tell me about the categories that you are going to be. I don't want to ask you for your votes because I don't want to put you on the spot. But who do you think are going to be the biggest winners coming end of awards season?
I think Barbie is going to be one of the biggest ones this year. Everybody liked it as well. American Fiction is a first-time director, Cord Jefferson. A lot of people like Killers of the Flower Moon, but there is some controversial there because of the Osage, the way that they portray them. Some part of the people didn't like it. So, but there is this, aside from Barbie, there's Oppenheimer as well, which is beautiful. The cinematography is beautiful. The sound is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Barbieheimer thing that happened, right, this summer where like it was like the stars aligned and these two amazing pictures came together and created and brought back the box office, right? Because it was dead for some time and these two movies kind of brought it back up. So that's great because they were good movies and good for the viewers and for the movie industry, right?
Yeah, was that and Taylor Swift that brought back the box office.
Yes. And, the good thing you bring that up because also Taylor Swift is nominated for a Golden Globe because the Golden Globes added this year 2 new categories. So let's talk about that. They added category of, I guess, top performer because of box office and also the best stand-up special. So let's talk about that. What did you think about those?
I don't know what I think, in my opinion, I think they are trying to bring the young generation to watch it, the Golden Globes, because Golden Globes is like the Oscars is an old award. So I think they are trying to bring those just to bring more viewership. Something like that, something different, just to break the pattern for the other years. And, but I don't know. I don't know if people is gonna buy that. You know what I mean? Just because they add these different categories. Because the Oscars did last year, like with the most, I can't remember the exact name, but it's like the most watched, the most blockbuster, something like that. Yeah. So I don't know if people are gonna buy that. You know what I mean? Because
it's going to be interesting to see what the audience has to say about that. I mean, I know the Swifties will be there just as
well. For sure.
For sure. We'll see what everyone else does.
For sure. She already like making a lot of viewers to the games of her boyfriend.
Right, so Swiftie fight is crazy. So now that we're also talking about the Golden Globes, they not only just added those two new categories, and they had, like we said at the beginning, we were talking earlier, that all those changes. What do you think, in your opinion as a critic, was the most controversial thing that happened with the Golden Globes?
I think the way that everything that happened, the way that they handle, I think they took too much time to bring diversity to the table. So I think people start noticing, and the way some stuff that happened to, sometimes the studio used to pay them to go to another place to watch the movie or to do the interviews, or you know what I mean? And then that can interfere in your vote or not. If you are a serious journalist, that doesn't need to, you don't do that, you know what I mean? So sometimes that's why it's good that I don't travel that much. So yeah, because sometimes people think, oh my God, it's compromise. That can compromise because they're paying you to go someplace else. And then and aside from that, there was other controversies there that they say that there's corruption, there's no
a lot of ethical questions,
ethical stuff. And then that's why there is no HSPA anymore. They create a foundation called Golden Globes Foundation. And some of these members that stay, they become employees of the company, something like that. And then they have voters all over the world.
Right. So that's going to be an interesting transition to see how that turns into viewership for them, right? What it looks like, what the new show looks like. Because there also is going to be now airing in a different network. It used to be NBC for a very long time, and now it's moving to CBS. Yeah. So that's going to be also an interesting shift.
Yeah, from like last year, they didn't have any place nobody wanted to broadcast them. And
there's too many issues that like blacklisted for a bit.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the surprises and the snubs, right? So let me tell you, for me personally, one of the biggest surprises was for the comedy musical section, the best comedy musical movie, the fact that they didn't nominate either The Color Purple or Little Mermaid or Wonka, which has a lot of musical stuff in it. But they nominated May, December. I was like, what in the world? There's always controversy with their nominations. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, it's not, but for me, it's not a surprise because every year they have something that is weird that they do something weird. But for example, May, December, I'm going to be very honest with you. The movie is not that great and it's not funny. There is just one line there that I thought that it was funny. And there is the moment, the music, the bum bum, that does like that. That is the only funny part. The rest is not. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like a musical or comedy. Nothing like that. You know what I mean?
No, they have this musical crescendos that would make you believe that something important was going to happen, but then they flattened out. At least in my perspective. And I think the performances were amazing because Julianne Moore is such a great actress. Her performance was really good. So was Natalie Portman as well. And the newcomer,
Charles Felton.
Yes, I think the performances were really good. I think the story maybe didn't go far, but the performances were, my perspective. You as a critic, tell me.
No, they are good. But for example, I don't think the movie as a whole should be nominated at Best Picture, even for comedy or for musical. You know what I mean? Like,
I totally do. It just does not make sense. If you guys haven't seen May December and you see it, you will totally understand what we're talking about.
Like,
and
for
if you already
example,
saw it, you probably back.
yeah. For example, for me, Poor Things, the Emma Stone movie. I don't like the movie, but I think she's amazing on it. It has a beautiful cinematography. There is a beautiful production design. There is a different, for nominate, to see the movie as a best movie, then you see isolate stuff that happened on the movie.
Exactly. So you picked what you see that makes the film an interesting film, whether it's the acting, the music, and what makes a great movie is when you find all those things in it, right? So for the movies that have been nominated for Best Movie this year, do you think somebody was snubbed for the Golden Globes, or you think that the list was pretty accurate?
I think for example, they forget about The Color Purple. I think that was a huge nod because the movie is beautiful. It's very colorful. There's so much love there. And you have emotion, you laugh, you sing, there's some moments that you want to dance, you know what I mean? So I think they left it out. This is unfortunate. I wasn't surprised that they left out Wonka and The Little Mermaid, which is fine. But The Color Purple, I was like, why they did that? You know what I mean? How?
In the diversity, we're talking about bringing back diversity, and you're going to leave out a female-driven, African American. Like, how is that?
No, exactly. And no Latinos.
And no Latinos. Yes, there are no Latinos nominated, which is really, really sad.
No Latinos, nothing. You know what I mean? So I was like, that's weird. But there is a movie here for the Golden Globes for Best Picture in Drama, The Zone of Interest. This is a very interesting movie, a very scary movie. Yes, if you did not watch it, it's about a family that he's a general for the World War II. He's in Germany and he lives next to the I forgot. I cannot say the name. Oh my God, the place that happens the Holocaust.
Oh, the Holocaust.
Yeah, there is a specific name for that. And the family, they lives there and he's the general. And then you can hear the family is living there. They have the kids, everything happened. And next door, they are killing people. What happened is like, we don't actually see what's going on next door. But you see the screams, you see the smoke, you see the fire, and then that stick to my mind for that. I think that is one of the movies that's going to receive a lot of awards this year as well. Yeah, he's the Oscar nominee. He's going to be representing UK for the Oscars. He might be nominated.
That's good. Yeah, so it's really sad that we have very few minorities again in the Golden Globes. And talking about the women, for example, like we're happy that Greta is there for Barbie. And the other surprise was one more other female, which tell me a little bit.
For the Golden Globes. Her name is Celine Song. She wrote Past Lives. And the movie is very emotional, very well written. It's really, really good. The movie is also nominated for Best Screenplay, and it's amazing. But unfortunately, for Critics' Choice, we have just Greta there, and you also have other female directors this year. We have Ava DuVernay for Argy. We have Emerald for Saltburn. And they did really good jobs, and they are not there.
And other misses and snub that happened there, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Any surprise of somebody that got nominated that you were like, oh, I'm happily surprised about that one?
I was really surprised that Air was nominated by Best Picture for the Golden Globes for musical or comedy. I wasn't expecting that. I really enjoyed the movie, but I wasn't expecting that. I was like, wow, really? This is one of them. I was surprised with May December, which was like a weird surprise.
And then also the interesting thing that the Golden Globes did this year is they added more numbers to their categories, right? They used to have, I think it was 5, and now they have 6 in each category. And then obviously the Best Picture is the one with the most nominations, or the category with the most nominations in it. So that's an interesting change too. It gives, I guess, a little more opportunity. I wish that opportunity had been given to minorities and stuff.
Yeah.
So that we can show a little more variety and give opportunity to those voices as well. So,
yeah, but but for us, like voters, we struggle. When you get to some categories, I struggle. I was like, oh my God, but I like this person, but I like this one too. It's good. Sometimes it's very difficult.
Yeah, no, and then you said, like, you have a very limited amount of votes that you can give per category. So that's interesting. Does that happen also with the Spirit Awards? How is that voting?
Yeah, the Spirit Awards, some of the movies that we have here, they are not, most of the movies that we have here at the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, even the Oscars, they are more like mainstream studios. And the Spirit Awards is more the independent ones. So kind of it's hard sometimes, but I think we have less. But I didn't struggle that much with that voting. It's funny.
Yeah, because I guess it gives voice. I like the Spirit Awards because it's also the award ceremony in itself is very campy. It makes fun of itself. They're super fun, but they also really do invest in the independent film. Like they really highlight movies that you wouldn't see, like you said, in the Golden Globes or the Oscars, because they're not highlighting independent filmmakers as much. So I'm glad that the Spirit Awards takes care of that side. At least there's some recognition for those films and filmmakers.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I love that too.
About though, obviously the Golden Globes also does like stuff for television. And I know that you also work doing stuff with television once in a while. You do cover stuff like that. Any surprises there with Succession or 1923? Anything that you think was surprising to you?
No, that was very, like, we knew that those are gonna be like nominated. You know what I mean? Like there's some series that is being on the top like for quite some time, and everybody was like talking about, like, for example, for the Golden Globes, they have like The Crown, The Diplomat, Last of Us, The Morning Show, Succession. It's all the ones that everybody's talking about, For comedy, The Bear, Ted Lasso, everybody's talking about, So
at least on the TV category, they're a little closer to, I guess, getting it right. Except for The Morning Show, they didn't nominate this year the main actresses, not Jennifer or Windsor.
No, they didn't like them.
Yeah, I know, right? They skipped them. Jennifer usually gets nominated, but not this year. And also for Abbott Elementary, which is a show that I love very much with Quinta. None of the actors got nominated this year either.
No, yes. Quinta is for
nominated her, but none of the other actors did.
No, okay, got it.
So that was interesting to see too, because usually one of them is nominated, and they've done such a great job, and they got Emmys for their shows, so they didn't get the Golden Globes. So that was it.
Yeah, and Only Murders in the Building got a lot of like nominations.
Oh yeah, yes, that's good. That's a very well done show too.
Yeah,
and Meryl
I love it.
Nominated.
I love it.
Meryl Streep would
again
do no wrong. I know she can't do no wrong. So that's going to be an exciting part to see that TV part. I think combining the TV and the film and the Golden Globes. It's going to be interesting to see all those again. You recently sat down with Jack Black to talk about one of my favorite songs ever in the movie.
Bitches, bitches, bitches.
What a terribly annoying and beautiful song because it stays with you. You can't help it. Tell me, how was that experience of talking to Jack Black about? Because you've interviewed him before, but how was this one-on-one with him about?
He's amazing. He's amazing. Actually, there wasn't a one-on-one. There was like a lunch with him. So I had to talk to him for 5 minutes, but was very informal, was casual. But he was he's super funny. You know what I mean? And then I told him, I cannot believe it that you were able to bring that rock experience, the way that you do it, that craziness to that song. And the singing, it's amazing. It's amazing. And he was surprised that the song was is making all this success. Everybody's loving it and all this. And he's super happy that everybody's happy with the song.
Yeah, so he's very funny and he's very kind too. He's always very kind with his time. I've met him before too, and he's always been kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that we're talking about a little bit about the actors and actresses, obviously you've interviewed so many. I can't ask you too many questions. I don't want to put you on the spot because I know how it is when we have the privilege and opportunity to sit with those celebrities and stars, because we don't want to put them in a bad light or anything. But anything surprised you in the last couple of years of the interviews that you've had that stayed with you that you want to share with us? Like any interview that really surprised you happily, and maybe one that didn't?
Oh, they didn't. Oh my God. I was last week I met again, I see again Bradley Cooper. And then I had the opportunity to tell him that, because I interviewed him in 2009 for The Hangover. So, and then I mentioned to him, looking at you today and looking at that person that I met in 2009, you jump and he evolved, he grew so much in his career that I was very proud to be one of the first ones to interview him. And now again, able to talk to him and to let him know that he did a really wonderful path in his career. This is one of even my first interview with him, he was a little, not shy, but he was maybe inexperienced. And yeah. And now he's super cool, you know what I mean? Super amazing person. Who else? I was very, very surprised. Last year, I interviewed Janelle Monáe. She's amazing. She's super cute, super welcoming you on the interview. She's really nice. Pierce Brosnan, I interviewed him again, and he always a gentleman, always super nice, answering your questions. But the one that I didn't like, I don't know. That I'm not gonna tell you.
We'll talk about it offline.
Yeah.
We have a few of those people. But like I said, we're not gonna mention them because.
But if you follow me, people that follow me, if you watch my interviews, you know that I didn't have a great time with someone.
Well,
people can see because I cannot lie.
It can lie.
No.
That's good. Going back to Maestro, because I wanted to talk to you about that, because I thought that was an interesting observation about Bradley Cooper's throw. I will be talking about Maestro in our reviews of the What's to Watch later on in the episode. And one of the things that struck me about him directing specifically is how enamored he is with the idea of filmmaking. Because you hear about the process of how, for example, for this particular movie, it was years that he's been investing in it. And not only did he produce it and star in it, but he actually also wrote it and directed it, which is an amazing feat, right? But the fact that he went and sat with the people, the relatives of the true, of Mr. Bernstein, and that he was there with his kids, and they allowed him to tell the story because they were very reserved about who would tell the story. But then he also picked the way that they would film it in 3 sequences where the lenses would change to give the look of the time. Like, he's so methodical in everything that he does. I've earned so much respect for him as a filmmaker now, because I think he cares so much about his craft. And I think you can definitely see it in Maestro. It's going to be definitely, it's a winner already. It's definitely a winner.
Oh, definitely. And I'm going to be very honest with you. When I first watched Maestro, I had, when you have some issues, and I was like, I need to rewatch this, because I was paying attention to some parts of the story. And then I was like, let me watch it. And then I rewatched it and I was like, okay, now I'm changing. And then the third time I was like, oh my God, this movie is amazing. You know what I mean? Because exactly for all of these details, like the lenses, the way that he told the story, the family, the actual family of Fainstar being there, like supporting him in all the way. Carey Mulligan, even though the Felicia was Latina, I think she did a really good job. The only thing, I don't know, because I have this discussion with my friend as well, because I don't know, because some people has accent. I do have an accent, but I don't know if she had an actual accent just because she was from Chile. Sometimes people don't have it, So I don't know. Maybe that's why they pick her, because I think she's amazing on regardless, she's not being Latina. She's really, really good. I think he picked her because she delivers something about Felicia that maybe other actresses didn't do it. And this is the only thing that I was like, I don't know. But then I think she's there because she's good on what she's doing there.
And that's one of the things that I think in the industry, right? We Latinos and Hispanics have such limited roles where we are principal roles. Yeah. And so when there's an opportunity that there's an act, like a role that requires it, for us not to have that opportunity to get that role, or, the actors that come from those places that not get the role, it's kind of uncomfortable for us, because we figure, wow, this is not a missed opportunity. But on the flip side, I don't want to be the devil's advocate. That's what acting is about, right?
Yeah.
To be able to portray different roles regardless of your nationality or ethnicity or background. And that's what makes acting so exciting for a lot of actors, because they can be other people that they would normally be. So there's like that devil's advocate thing. But I wish, yes, like you said, I understand what you're saying about her being the real Felicia, being Latina. It would have been nice to have someone there to represent that.
Those are mixed feelings, you know what I mean?
Because Carey is a great actress too. She does an amazing job too. So anyway, the acting, right?
Exactly.
So Jana, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge about the films with us, for diving into this nominations with me. I know that the Critics' Choice things are going to happen January 17th, you said, right? So are 14th. You're going to be attending?
Yeah, January 14th, I'll be attending. And the Golden Globes is January 7th. And I also have the Hollywood Creative Alliance on January 6th. And then the Spirit Awards is going to be February 24 or 25th.
You have it on a weekend, right?
Yeah. It's either Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. Well.
And we have the Oscars.
Super busy. Night dresses and all that stuff.
All that stuff, all the makeup.
The part that we don't get to see as often because we're always in behind the scenes doing stuff, right?
I know.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was nice conversing with you about all these movies, because it's our passion. I don't know if people can tell, but we're passionate about it for sure.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how the Golden Globes evolve, and how the critics are the ones that keep it honest for those part. in regards to what's real in the film industry, even though a lot of the times people say, oh, the critics don't get the real people, and that's why we have like the reviews and all that stuff. So it's good to have like that balance, but we'll see how the Golden Globe develop from now on with this new creative, turn that they've taken.
Let's see.
So, so to close, anything you want to add, anything you want to tell the audience of the Hollywood Makers? Obviously, we're going to put in your lower third so that people can follow you on your own podcast as well and get your interviews that you do so well. But anything you want to share with the
first of all, I wanna thank you so much for having me. I enjoy this. It's so much fun, especially to talk the things that we love about it. And if I don't like something, it's not like personal or anything like that. And I always encourage everyone to watch the movies, because if I don't like it, you might like it, and vice versa. So because our opinion is very subjective, so just go and watch the movies in the movie theater.
Right, that's true. Let's support the filmmakers, right? Because that's what we're here about for the Hollywood Makers. We are here supporting those people that are trying to make it, and those who are already there, who don't get to be applauded because they don't come in front of the camera. So those people that are making the movies, the directors, the lighting people, the makeup, the catering, all those people that are behind need support. Their support comes when you go to the theater and buy the ticket and watch the movies and blah, blah. So we are all about that. So thank you, Jana, so much. And everybody stay tuned, because now we're going to talk about the three movies that Jana and I kind of discussed a little bit for the ones to watch. On today's episode of The Ones to Watch, we are going to be talking about 3 different films: Bradley Cooper's Maestro, Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things, and Juan Antonio Bayóna's The Society of Snow. Maestro is a towering and fearless love story chronicling the lifelong relationship between Leonard Bernstein and Felicia Montealegre, starring 2-time Academy Award winner nominee Carey Mulligan as acclaimed actress, artist, and activist Felicia Montealegre, and 9-time Oscar nominee Bradley Cooper as the legendary musician, conductor, composer, teacher, and author Leonard Bernstein. The film is a love letter of life and art. Maestro, at its core, is an emotionally epic portrayal of family and love. Producers Fred Berner and Amy Dernan initially sparked to the idea of a feature film about Leonard Bernstein in 2008 and began the process of research, development, and procurement of his music and life rights. They enlisted Josh Singer to draft a version of the script that first enticed Martin Scorsese and ultimately ended up in Spielberg's hands. Spielberg said it only took 20 minutes of him watching an early cut of A Star is Born, Bradley's directorial debut, for him to realize that Cooper had to direct Maestro. Besides starring, producing, and directing, Cooper also co-wrote the movie with Josh Singer. Bradley Cooper recalls that classical albums were always playing in his house when he was growing up, and he spent hours conducting an imaginary orchestra when he was just 8 years old. Carey Mulligan wanted to immerse herself in Felicia's story so much so that she traveled to Chile to meet Felicia's family, including Felicia's brother-in-law, who was in his 90s. The Bernstein family was very protective of their father's story, but they loved Bradley's version so much that they allowed them to shoot at their actual home in Connecticut. Bradley Cooper had to arrive on set 6 hours before the crew to get all the makeup and prosthetics. He also trained with renowned conductors and spent countless hours attending orchestra rehearsals. Cooper insisted on shooting on film, starting with 35mm black and white shots and transitioning with different aspect ratios to convey time periods. Poor Things. From filmmaker Yorgos Lanthimos and producer Emma Stone comes the incredible tale and fantastical evolution of Bella Baxter, played by Emma Stone. a young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist, Dr. Godwin Baxter, played by William Dafoe. Under Baxter's protection, Bella is eager to learn. Hungry for the worldliness she's lacking, Bella runs off with Duncan Weatherburn, played by Mark Ruffalo, a slick and devout lawyer on a whirlwind adventure across the continents. Free from the prejudices of her time, Bella grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. Poor Things is based on Alasdair Gray's book of the same name, which was first published in 1992. Director Yorgos Lanthimos received an 8-minute standing ovation at the world premiere during the 2023 Venice Film Festival. This is Emma's third collaboration with Yorgos. Their first project together was The Favorite in 2018. William Dafoe started his days at 3 o'clock in the morning for the makeup process. It would take 4 hours in and 2 hours out to remove it every day. Poor Things was nominated for 7 Golden Globes, including Best Picture and Best Performances for each of the 3 main actors. It also garnered 13 nominations for the Critics' Choice Awards, tied second for the most nominations along Oppenheimer. Society of the Snow. Based on a true story, Society of the Snow is a new film from acclaimed Spanish director J.A. Bayona. It is an adaptation of a book by Pablo Bierchi. Bayona uses the Uruguayan author's book, written 36 years after the airplane crashed, to give a voice to the survivors and to those who didn't make it out alive. October 12, 1972. The Old Christians Club rugby team boards Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 from Montevideo, Uruguay to Santiago, Chile, where they have a game scheduled. That game never took place. The airplane, which carried a total of 45 passengers, including crew, players, family members, and friends, crashed in the snowy heart of the Andes in the Valley of Tears. Only 29 of the 45 passengers survived the impact. Trapped in one of the most inaccessible, hostile environments on the planet, the survivors faced extreme cold, thirst, and hunger, and were forced to take extreme measures to stay alive. Some of the survivors of the airplane crash died in the following days. On December 23, 1972, 2.5 months after the crash, 16 were rescued alive. The story was shot in chronological order and was shot in 3 stages. The first was at the Valley of the Tears in the Andes in Argentina, where the accident occurred. The second stage was shot at the Sierra Nevada in Granada, Spain, and the third stage was shot in various locations in Chile, Uruguay, and Madrid. Actor Enzo Broginic, who plays the role of Numa Turcati, said that to lose weight during the filming of the movie, he limited his diet to just tuna and 1 tangerine per day. The actors had to endure the physical transformations on set, but it was all supervised by doctors, nutritionists, and a personal trainer who accompanied them week by week. The cast and crew had the input of the writer throughout filming, but they also had access to first-hand accounts from the 15 survivors who are still alive. J.A. Bayona not only directed and produced the film, he was also part of the writing team. Society of the Snow is his 4th feature film, and his first Spanish-language one in 15 years. Bayona directed box office hits like The Orphanage in 2007, The Impossible in 2012, A Monster Calls in 2016, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 2018. He has also directed several TV series, including the first episodes of Penny Dreadful for Showtime, and the first 2 episodes for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, where he was also a producer. Society of the Snow has been nominated for several Goya Awards and is nominated as Best Foreign Film for the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards. And there you have it. Those are the ones to watch. Make sure you add them to your list. Thank you for being part of our episode today. We hope that you like and subscribe and that you can become part of our community of the Hollywood makers. Till next time.